our lives.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to go right off my script now.
Okay.
Because I think what you're bringing up is one of my favorite aspects of my conversations with both Michaels, but which is this notion from the Course in Miracles of forgiveness. And my sense is I love to compare the vocabularies of different teachings. So for me, the guilt in the Course in Miracles is kind of like the ego in Eckhart Tolle, and then the forgiveness in the Course in Miracles is kind of like the presence in Eckhart Tolle. But both are kind of like seeing through the dream, but towards a healing. So maybe that's what you'd like to speak to, and of course anything that might hit you from the other two.
Yeah, in a way, it's rewinding the tape. So kind of like what Moira was just saying, it's like from childhood on, we have all these beliefs that have, become the way we think. And these beliefs, would you choose them now? Like if you could take all your beliefs out of your head and dump them on a plate, right? The idea is you want to take a look at what it is that you believe. And so forgiveness is a way of realizing that all those beliefs that you held on, they're only real in your head. That you're unlovable. It's not a fact. But if you believe that you're unlovable, what's your experience? And so the Course, what I love about it, Tom, is that it begins to, the first lesson, nothing you see means anything. It's sort of the first of a long process. It takes a year to do all 352 lessons, but it's beginning to realize that these projections that we're labeling stuff are all coming from our mind. These are not true. And the mistake we make is we think our beliefs are true. And if you think your beliefs are true, then for you they will be. So that's what I love about the forgiveness, is that you begin to realize that really the forgiveness isn't even, if someone else has harmed you, it's for yourself, for believing something that isn't true. If all of us knew our true nature, what we really are, you would never talk harshly to yourself again or anyone else.
That's nice. I remember going to your work, to the dream circles, and exposing my own dreams to your scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was really great about it was the clarity with which I saw the beliefs that I didn't even know I had.
Yeah.
That's the essence of what...
Dreams are so revealing. They're so revealing, and I will sometimes even say, if someone says to me, in a social setting that they want to tell me a dream, I sometimes will warn them and just sort of say, do you really want to reveal yourself to me? I'm only really actually even interested in, I do a lot of talks at spiritual centers. So I will go into a spiritual center and I'll start my talk with, if it's about dreams, that, I'm not interested in love and light. And I say it that way to, get a rise out of people and chuckle. Because the truth is, the love and the light that we are is all that we are. And it needs no help. None of us need any help with the love and the light that we are. What we need help with is the places where we've resisted against it and where we're blocking it. And that is so evident in dreams. It's like an instant snapshot of where you're afraid, where you're holding back, and where you're doubtful about your magnificence. And so, I remember just some of your dreams, and it was like so apparent that there was just something about playing small. And you were sort of riddled with that in your dream life. And there was an instant sort of acknowledgement on your part. You met me, and so there was no resistance to it. And then, boom, wouldn't you say in the last 2 years you've sort of stepped up? Yeah, it's easy to step up into our magnificence when we're just taking a moment to nod over towards where we're holding back. You know, and the beautiful thing about forgiveness is that it can be, well rather, not can be, it is instantaneous in its ability to free you. It happens in an instant. You don't have to prep for it. You don't have to analyze around it. Now, you might experience some time and effort getting to the place where that magic happens, but the thing of forgiveness relieving the bondage of self is instantaneous. And I think in my work with clients, it's always really just holding their hand till they get ready to do that little thing, and then it's boom. I had a client the other day. Oh, I yelled at her, poor thing. Well, I said to her, you know, we finally got to a thing, and she was talking about this relationship. It was kind of old, but still, obviously, you know, well living inside of her. And I introduced her to forgiveness work. And she said, well, what if it doesn't work? And I said, oh, honey, ask me that after you've done it. And she said, well, but I need to understand. And I said, oh, and this now, I sort of lost my patience with her, in a charming way. I mean, I don't yell at my clients without a dose of charm. I will yell. I said, honey, I can offer you freedom. You cannot help you understand. There is no understanding here. There is nothing to understand. But I can offer you freedom. Which would you prefer? And she said, I don't know. And that was very telling. She really didn't. That's when I really laid in. I said, honey, listen, because I take my sessions. Like, listen back. You can't have understanding. Cannot give it to you. I can give you freedom. Which do you prefer? I don't know. And I think this is the case of a lot of people. Because of that thing that you talked about. We're so oriented to creating our world over and over again in these paradigms that were handed and branded on us, that we don't even really know that we have an option.
You know, thanks. Michael often quotes a Jesuit, Anthony de Mello, says,
First step.
is realizing that you don't really want to wake up.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first step to awakening, admit that you don't want to awaken.
So how do you heal people with the feminine touch?
I show them why it's safe for them to awaken now,
Okay.
and what it feels like to feel safe in awakening now.
Oh, nice.
I've understood.
I'm gonna try that!
Analogy, you never know. Because when awakening means that your life is going to change and that things are going to be different, and people feel terribly threatened by change, even when it's for the better. Because it's new, it's unfamiliar, we don't know if we can handle it. What if I'm going to be expected to do stuff when I'm awake that I don't want to do? What if I'm not in the mood to wake up? And that is okay. What I'm seeing is that when we intellectually understand something about ourselves, that will take us a certain way toward the path of awakening. But it's when we have a true emotional understanding, a gut-deep recognition of something, that the shift really begins to accelerate, because it's only when you have emotional realization of something that your behavior begins to change, that your mentality begins to shift, that your energy and your mode of consciousness begins to start turning around. When you get that in motion, waking up is the most natural thing in the world. In fact, it's almost impossible to stop. Although it can be, as the poet Rumi says, don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. He says it 3 times. He understood that with the unconscious mind, you need to hear something 3 times to know that it's true. So I work with people to help them feel safe in awakening to the truth about themselves, which is that they are love and light, which is that God is the cause, we are all the effect, and to understanding that we really navigate the unknown, the dreaded change, every single day. We're masters of navigating the unknown. Every morning you wake up and you think you know what's going to happen. Sometimes you're right, and sometimes you get surprised. And yet, you are still here. You are still safe. So the unknown is something that we deal with every day. We forget how little we know. We blind ourselves to the realization of how uncertain life is, that we see through a glass darkly because we couldn't function if we knew the true level of uncertainty, the true level of randomness, the true level of chaos in the world. So we close down, we shut off, we encapsulate our awareness that there's far more to this world than we realize on the unconscious level, but we have that realization. So in coming to the emotional recognition that you're only opening to who you really are and always have been and always shall be, there is nothing new here. In fact, it's older than your consciousness in this lifetime. It's older than your body in this lifetime. You're coming back to an ancient truth. So in truth, there is nothing really new about recognizing who you are, true power. It's more like remembering. And that's when you wake up.
What do you think?
I want to sign up.